Okay, hi everyone, Daryl here. I'm just gonna do this review. Basically, I got a email from someone saying that um, I like to read your reviews, but could you produce your reviews in video format? Uh, yeah, so I guess some people just like to watch rather than read. So what I'll do is that I actually have a blog article that reviewed this development called Parc Esta, and I'll leave the blog article in the description below. But just tune in to this. This is actually my review of Parc Esta, and Parc Esta is actually a development that is actually being launched now. It's actually a 99-year leasehold development, and the developer is actually MCL Land. So some of you may know, MCL Land is actually responsible for another recent launch, which is Margaret View over at Margaret Drive. And what Parc Esta is that it's actually the former Eunos View. So if you guys are familiar with the Eunos area, if you live around the Eunos area, you know that there was this HUDC which was privatized called Eunos View, and in June 2017, just perhaps at the start of the en bloc fever, which actually effectively ended once the government implemented the cooling measures this year in 2018. But uh, just perhaps just at the start of the whole en bloc trend, MCL actually went in and bought Eunos View for 756 million. This at that point in time was actually the second largest en bloc of HUDC unit, HUDC development. So at that point in time, this en bloc of 756 million was the second highest price that a developer paid for a former HUDC development. So previously, Eunos View was actually this 330 unit development. But what will happen is that this 330 unit development will actually make way for Parc Esta, and Parc Esta will be a 1,399 residential unit development with 5 shops, and there will be a good mix of 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 bedroom units in Parc Esta. So like I've always mentioned to people out there, this is actually digressing a little bit. A lot of people will actually tell you, and you know, some will actually tell you that there are a lot of en bloc sellers. They receive their monies and they are very, very wealthy, so they will actually come and buy all these new developments. But the fact of the matter is that Eunos View was previously a 330 unit development, and when you clear out 330 units, right, you make way for 1,399 residential units. These 1,399 units come on board, definitely will be sold to buyers. It will definitely come on board, it will definitely be built. But these 330 sellers, right, they not necessarily will go back into the market and purchase a unit. So this is an example where you can see that yes, people get rich through en bloc, but it's actually a very small number of people as compared to the number of units that are coming on board. Yeah, so whenever you are looking for new developments, please take note of this fact, and don't always say that yeah, the prices will go up because the en bloc people have a lot of money. But the en bloc people do not make up a very substantial amount of buyers out there in the market, because the number of units that are coming on board is a lot more. So if you can see, right, 330 make way for almost 1,004. That's about multiplied by 4. So about 4 times the number of units that were previously in Eunos View, and that's going to make up Parc Esta. Okay, but in my honest opinion, right, Parc Esta is one of the better developments that will be launched in 2018, and I personally have been looking out for this development. This is actually an extract of a location map which I drew out from streetdirectory.com. You can see where Parc Esta is. So generally, when you come out from Eunos MRT Station, you just cross across the road. I actually have a video where I just went across. Then there is Parc Esta already. This is going to be Parc Esta. Okay, and here is actually the HDB development. So this is actually a mature estate. And there's one plus in staying in a mature estate is that amenities are very adequate. So just behind Eunos MRT is actually the market, the food court, the food center, and here are other food centers, and here are actually all the shops, HDB shop houses. So you have like clinics, convenience stores, what you need in your for daily necessities is all there. Then this is actually Eunos bus interchange. And here, right, here is the newer batch of Eunos HDB flats, which this HDB Eunos court is really up already, and this one, right, it's actually under construction. So currently when you go there, you can see that there's hoardings and there's work being done. Okay, so this is where Eunosville is going to be. And the plus side about Eunosville is that if you scroll out the map a bit more, right, it's actually one train station away from Paya Lebar MRT station. And this is where the growth is supposed to happen. Okay, so if you go along to the area around Paya Lebar MRT station, you will see that there are a lot of construction. There's a lot of construction going on currently. And what they're doing is that they're actually trying to develop the Paya Lebar Center. It's going to be like a hub whereby commercial activity is going to be centered around that area. So you can go and see the new Singapore Post Center is a very nice place to be. There's a state-of-the-art cinema. There's Paya Lebar Square, and Paya Lebar Quarter is actually, and Paya Lebar Quarter and Park Place residences at Paya Lebar Quarter is actually developed by this Australian developer called Landlease. Okay, so this area, right, is going to develop, and it's not only going to develop, it's developing into a commercial hub, and this is perhaps where you can bank on getting good tenants for your unit if you purchase a unit at Eunosville. Okay, but in all honesty, in my opinion, the very important thing to take note of buying a development like Eunosville is that when you purchase a development that was purchased en bloc, so that means the developer actually came and purchased Eunosville in an en bloc exercise. What happens is that they are clearing out the old development for the new one. So you follow me on this, because if you clear up an old development and put a new one there, the surrounding area, right, is actually also matured. So sometimes when people say, okay, I'm buying a new development in perhaps Punggol, like my friend, I have a friend who stays in Punggol, but when I go to Punggol, it does not have the mature estate feel of a place like perhaps Eunos. What I mean is that you actually have more amenities, more adequate amenities that are scattered all around, rather than having all the amenities in like small little hubs, you know. So in Punggol and Sengkang, where it's a new town, the amenities are not located in HDB shophouses. Generally, they are located in small little communal hubs. But in a place like Eunos, you can easily get a lot of food all around, because all these people here, right, they've been cooking at the market, they've been opening up shops. So this whole Changi Road is actually filled with places where you can find food. And also there's a market here. There's if you drive further down, right, you can actually get to Katong. So this area is actually rather vibrant, and the growth area is actually going to come from this Paya Lebar quarter as well. Okay, so like I mentioned, the plus side about Parc Esta is the location. So it's actually right across the road from Eunos MRT Station. And just next to MRT station, the MRT station is a food center, market and amenities. And it's actually 600 meters away from Geylang Serai Market. Yeah, if you guys actually go to Geylang Serai Market, you know that it sells just about anything, and it's actually one of the more comprehensive markets. And there's actually a large NTUC which is just across the road as well. So in terms of amenities, right, this Geylang Serai area or Eunos area, right, is very adequate. Okay, so we always talk about location when we look at a property, and I always tell my clients to look at how quickly it actually takes to get from your supposedly investment property to the city center. Okay, so from Eunos MRT station to Raffles Place MRT station, it takes about 7 minutes. So it's estimated about 13 minutes that you get to Raffles MRT station. It costs you about $1.23. And the time it takes for you to walk from Parc Esta to Eunos MRT is maybe about 2 to 3 minutes. So plus waiting, right, I think you should be able to get to Raffles Place in about 20 minutes if there is no slowdown because of congestion or whatsoever. So actually, getting to Raffles Place is pretty quick. So there may be tenants that may want to stay in a mature estate, don't want to stay in town, and then they will also look at the green line, the east-west line, and they may consider a place like Paya Lebar or Eunos. Okay, so from Eunos to Orchard, right, it takes 9 stations. You need to make 2 changes, estimated about 15 minutes. So plus walking to Eunos MRT and everything, it takes about maybe 20 to 25 minutes and you can get to Orchard already. So and then because you're on the east-west line, from Eunos MRT to Changi Airport, right, it takes about 5 stations. So imagine if let's say you are coming back from an overseas trip, and then after that you can actually just hop on the train at Terminal 3 and then take you straight to your doorstep at Parc Esta. Okay, so that's one plus as well, getting to Changi Airport. Okay, and in Singapore, when we purchase properties, we always want to know whether it's in close proximity to a good school. So Parc Esta is actually 1 kilometer, within a 1 kilometer radius from Head Girls' School and 2 kilometers to these few schools like Maha Bodhi, CHIJ Katong, Tao Nan, St. Stephen's, Kong Hua and Telok Kurau Primary School. So schools-wise, quite decent around this area. Okay, so let's look at comparative prices and we compare whether it is worth paying this price for Parc Esta. So this was actually information which I pulled out when I did my review on Parc Esta. So this is actually the URA figures which you can pull out from the URA website. It actually shows the transactions at Park Place Residences. So Park Place Residences have 429 units. Cumulative units sold to date, right, is about 401. There are about 20, I think like there are less than 20 units currently left in the development, and the median price is almost 1,007. Okay, so this was what was launched at Parc Esta. Okay, and then take a look at Bedok Residences. So you look at Bedok Residences, right? Yeah, so Bedok Residences is an older development. Bedok Residences was actually completed for some time ago already, and yeah, it's actually a 99-year leasehold development with 583 units. It's located right next to Bedok MRT Station, which is 2 stations away from Eunos MRT Station. So after Eunos, you get to Kembangan, then you get to Bedok. It was completed in 2015, and so people have been living in the development for the last 3 years already. And then in the resale market, right, the prices are going from anywhere from 1,400 plus to like 1,600 plus. Okay, so per square foot. So if you take that into consideration, right, you take a look at what price Parc Esta is actually selling for. I think the prices they start at about 1,600 plus minus. So we may think that it's actually quite competitively priced. Okay, one more thing to take note, right, is that I actually did a video on actually getting you guys to take a look at the master plan. So you must always try to understand what is going on around it. So this is actually Parc Esta. Okay, this is actually Eunos view of Parc Esta. Okay, so now currently under the master plan, planning area Geylang, right, this is actually Parc Esta. So you take a look at the red color areas, right, these are actually the places of worship. So there's actually a mosque here, then and this area, right, this yellow color area, this is actually a reserve site. So that means that this is actually the car park, but the car park is actually a reserve site, and here as well. Okay, so I don't think this will become a condominium. Well, hopefully not. I don't think it should become a condominium because it's such a small plot of land. And these 2 plots of land, right, I also do not hope that this will become a condominium as well. Even so, right, because the main reason is because it is actually quite close to the train tracks. So when the train goes past, actually units along this along the train tracks, right, the noise can be a little bit disturbing at times. So that's why it is important that you guys take note that, you know, when you walk into a uncompleted project or new project launch, there is always a chance that you purchase something, and then when you take over the keys, you may be facing a main road, busy junction, and then noise may be an issue, and this noise will never present itself in a perfectly beautiful show flat. Okay, so it is important to learn how to pick a good unit in a new project launch as well. My colleague actually does some videos on picking units. I'll try to share his videos in some of my descriptions or somewhere in my YouTube video around here now. Okay, so this is actually Parc Esta, and if you take a look, right, these are actually reserve sites. So there is maybe a possibility of developments coming up along the yellow color area. I personally don't think that the en bloc trend will continue after the cooling measures. So the only other way to find plots of land to redevelop in this area is either to purchase any other development around this area. But you take a look at it, most of the plot ratios are all at about 1.4 around here. So and you guys know that recently URA came out with new regulations, right? So this area, the average unit size is actually a lot larger than elsewhere. So developers have to build larger units around here. So yeah, so surrounding wise, right, just be careful. Maybe I don't know whether there will be a new development that will come up in these yellow color areas. Okay, so always look at the master plan to take a look at where possible competing developments may come up. Okay, so these are the selling points that I think if you want to consider Parc Esta, and I think these are the real selling points. A lot of people actually ask me, okay, do you think that this is a fair price for Parc Esta? And they always say, okay, I want to buy freehold, so I don't want to buy leasehold. But the point of the fact of the matter is that a lot of developments that are next to the MRT station are leasehold developments. And one thing about Parc Esta is that the real selling point is that it is really just across the road from the Eunos MRT station. And if you miss this, then I don't know whether the plot of land, which is where the car park is now, is going to become a condominium for you. So you may not be able to purchase a condominium that is nearer to the Eunos MRT station than Parc Esta. Okay, and that is perhaps the most ideal selling point, because it is most probably the closest MRT that is going to be from Eunos MRT station. And the next selling point is that it's actually one station away from Paya Lebar Central, where the new commercial hub or growth area is supposed to be. And I think this portion is, this next point, right, is very, very understated. I personally like living in mature estate, and many people do as well. Okay, the thing about mature estate is that amenities are really all over the place. There's one thing, it's nice to live in a new estate like Sengkang and Punggol, where everything is very neat, very orderly. But there's another charm in living in a mature estate, in the sense that there are businesses that have been around for decades already. There are hawker food that are available in the markets that have been there for like generations. So this small little charm of living in a mature estate, right? When you live in one, and when you move into a new estate, you can actually feel the difference. Okay, so Eunos is an extremely mature estate. Okay, and if let's say you move further down, as in you travel further down, you can actually get to Katong and Parkway Parade and the Marine Parade Central. So that is another huge area with a lot of shopping malls, very good food, and a lot of amenities. Okay, so and Parc Esta is actually a large development. So when it's large, there's comprehensive facilities. So because everyone actually shares the burden of maintaining these facilities, so you can have actually more facilities if your development is large. And one thing I need to take note is that I feel that the developer is actually is less aggressive in pricing units in Parc Esta, which is a huge plus for buyers if you guys are interested. Like I've mentioned before, I'm not saying that Parc Esta is cheap. Okay, I've never said that any new development is cheap. In fact, I've always maintained that Singapore property prices are really high. But if you make a comparison within 2018, look at what has been launched, okay, and take a look at how developers have priced their offerings to buyers. This one being really just next to, uh, I would say, a very convenient MRT station, and it's being priced at about 1,600 plus. I think this is perhaps in today's market rather reasonable. Okay, so if you compare it to other areas, won't want to mention where, but there are developments that are far away from the train station, and then they are selling at perhaps the same per square foot pricing, and even if they're selling like 10% cheaper, right? I sincerely don't advise people buying properties that are perhaps like, you know, 10 minutes or 15 minutes bus ride away from the MRT station, because unless you really like that location, you're going to stay. But Parc Esta being so close to the train station, right, you can live in it or you can rent it out to a probable tenant. So I've always mentioned that if you buy a property to rent it out, yes, URA website shows you how much certain properties are rented in that area, but they do not show you how long it took to actually get that property rented out. So the vacancy rate of condominiums further away from MRT station, right, should generally be higher than those that are close to MRT station. Okay, because when tenants think like a tenant, when a tenant looks for a condominium, what is the utmost requirement? The first requirement that they look for proximity to a train station. They look for convenience. As a tenant, you look for convenience. Then after that, you look for whether the place is pleasant to live in, nice development with good facilities. These all come in after convenience. You rent for convenience. Okay, so pricing wise, right, later I'll touch a bit on this. Okay, these are the possible weak points. Okay, there's no development that is totally perfect, and I believe that developers, they have to understand this point as well. Every development that they build, right, there are good points and there are bad points. It's just that we as buyers, we must always think, do the bad points overpower the good points? Do the good points sort of overshadow all these bad points, such that we can actually negate these bad points and just look at the good points? Okay, so the good points I just mentioned to you, the possible weak points, right, are that certain units will have noise from the parallel roads. Okay, so if you actually take a look at where Parc Esta is, okay, so this is actually Parc Esta. So you take a look, right, you see this Sims Avenue and this Changi Road. Yeah, these are actually two pretty busy roads. So if let's say you purchase units facing these roads, right, you just need to be careful because there may be road noise when you face these developments here. Yes, here are all low rise because this is actually plot ratio 1.4, so they can build only maximum 5 stories, and then these are all landed areas. So yes, it's nice to look out, but in my honest opinion, right, if anybody were to ask me which units to pick, I will normally try to ask them to pick the units which face inwards. Okay, the main reason is because of the noise from the parallel roads. Those roads are pretty noisy. Okay, so if as a property agent, right, I've been selling properties, and one thing is that there's no way for us to overcome noise from parallel roads. We as property agent, we cannot make it disappear. But the fact of the matter is, right, you all will not hear it if you walk into a new project launch. So you must be discerning as a buyer, right, to know which unit to pick. Okay, understand the development, analyze it properly, then make a good unit selection. Okay, the noise, if you face the main road, you definitely will have some road noise. Okay, so and you will only realize it when you take the keys of your unit to your unit. Okay, so the next possible weak point, right, is actually a lack of a shopping mall. So like, you know, there's a, like in Bedok, there's actually an integrated mall. So there's Bedok Mall and Bedok Residences on top, which is 2 MRT stations away. Then look at where Paya Lebar is, Park Place Residences. There's actually a shopping mall. There are, in fact, 2 shopping malls now there currently, and then 1 more that's coming up. So there's lack of mall in this area, but perhaps it can be mitigated by the fact that Paya Lebar MRT station is just 1 stop away, and because you live in Eunos, right, you can actually take the train station down to maybe Raffles City and you can shop in town, or you can take 2 stations away to Bedok, and Bedok Mall is pretty huge. So some people, some tenants maybe, or some buyers, they may think that I want to stay near a shopping mall so that after maybe I watch a movie, I can just walk home. So these 2 are possible weak points that buyers must take note of when they are looking at Parc Esta. Okay, so this is actually the indicative pricing from the developer. The 1-bedroom units, right, the starting PSF is about 1,600. So the 1-bedroom plus study, the starting PSF goes up to about 1,007. The 3-bedroom starting PSF all start about 1,005 plus, and the 4 and 5 as well. So this pricing, in my opinion, having looked at so many of the new launches in 2018, I would say it's a little bit more competitive. I believe that the developer would have priced it higher if not for the cooling measures. So cooling measures are advantageous to buyers. Buyers always ask me, the cooling measure come ready, the market will crash or not? My take to them is that no one knows. Not right for me to tell you will crash also. Later I tell you will crash, then you wait, don't buy. Then never crash, how? Okay? Then later I tell you don't crash, then really crash, how? The thing is that buy within your budget, buy within your financial ability to maintain the installments. This starting price, right, if you take a look at new developments, try to weigh out the pros and cons. If you're in the resale market, look at the resale market, take a look. They are also selling per square foot maybe 1,000 plus. How much do you have to pour in to renovate the unit so that it looks new? But and then are you willing to maybe forego the fact that your surrounding is maybe a little bit dated? Then maybe you can save some money and buy a cheaper unit in the resale market. But for new project launches, these are the prices that are going out for 2018. And if you compare this to other places, District 19, District 20, some of them maybe less close to the MRT station. Some of them are selling for prices like this or maybe even higher. Okay, so I'll say that the developer does price Parc Esta pretty competitively. So if you're keen in any units, right, try to learn how to select a unit appropriately. Try to learn how to select the correct unit so that in future you will be able to resell or rent it out easily. Okay, don't need to understand, look at the floor plan correctly, go for good units, go for units with proper facing, go for units with unique selling points. Okay, so this one I'll actually do like a blog article eventually on my personal advice on how to select units. So it'll be coming up, it'll be on my personal blog written. Okay, and this is actually the unit mix of Parc Esta, and this is actually the estimated monthly maintenance fee. So like for a 1-bedroom, your monthly maintenance is about 170, your 2-bedroom about 190, your 3-bedroom as well, then your 4-bedroom 230. And so this sounds pretty affordable. The main reason why it's affordable is because this development is pretty large. It's 1,399 units. So everyone actually shares the burden of maintaining these facilities. So actually that's where the advantage of being one of the stakeholders in a large development comes into play. Okay, so these are actually the show units that are in the Parc Esta show flat. So there's actually a 1-bedroom study, 2-bedroom study, 3-bedroom plus flex 5-bedroom type E model. If let's say you want to go down and take a look, this is actually how big the individual spaces are. I do like it when developers actually mention how how large a certain area is. I think it's advantageous and it should be made transparent to all buyers as well. So you can go down and take a look. Please take note of what to look out for when you're in the hunt for a new development. I have a blog article. I'll leave it in the description below as well. What to expect when you walk into a new project launch, things to look out for. Yeah, so this has been Daryl. This is my review of Parc Esta. I'll leave the link to my written article of my review of Parc Esta in the description below. And thanks everyone for tuning in to this video. Okay, so see you guys soon. Thanks.